Hi friends and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello. My name's George Agambar and I'm a UK music producer. Today's video is all about keys of songs and just why they're so important. So if you're a producer or an engineer or a musician and want to learn a bit more about this, then make sure you stay tuned and hit the subscribe button for new videos every Wednesday.
And things will never be the same when I hear your name since you kissed me in the rain.
A key is a collection of 12 different notes that we group together and base a song or the melodies of a song around. And these 12 notes are all a set pattern of tones or semitones apart, and they're grouped together in what we call a scale. So for every key, there's also a scale that goes along with it. For example, if a song is written using the notes exclusively from the C major scale, we say that the key the song is in is C major. In total, there are 12 major scales and 12 minor scales, so there are 12 major keys and 12 minor keys, making 24 different keys altogether. Major keys tend to sound happier and brighter, whereas minor keys tend to sound a bit sadder and a bit darker. In every single key, there's one really important note, and this is called the root note, or the tonic. And it's the note that the scale is built upon, the first note of the scale. So again, in the key of C major, the root note is C, as that's the note that is at the start of the C major scale, the note that the scale is built upon. And this note is so important because melodies tend to be based around this root note, or they tend to always return to the root note at the end of a phrase. So keys tell us which notes to use in a melody, they tell us which note is our root note, but they can also tell us which chords to use. A chord is two or more notes that are heard at the same time, and these help give us a harmonic progression to our songs. Now, of course, you can write music without a key, and this has been done a lot in serialism, but it can make your music sound a lot more disjunct and generally a lot less pleasant to the typical audience. A few notes outside of the key or outside of the scale here and there can add excitement and interest to the music when they're used correctly. However, if you use too many of these non-scale, non-key notes, or you use them in the wrong place, again, it can just sound unpleasant. So it really is worth reading up about when and how to use them. In a live situation, knowing a key of a song helps you know which notes to play and which chords to play. And when you're performing as part of a group, it makes sure that you're playing notes that complement the other members of the group and doesn't clash with them. And it can also help you improvise because you know which notes you can use that are bound to sound good with the music going on behind you. And keys are just as important in production too. It can help us know how to write different instrumental parts or backing vocals or harmonies because we know, again, which notes we can use. And it really helps us transpose a song. That's because if we know our starting point, we can easily work out how to transpose the music into the key that we want it to be in. Now, I wanted to take this opportunity to address the age-old question. Why can singers only sing in a certain key? Why do we, as musicians or producers, have to change the music around the singer? Why can't they change the notes we're singing? And I've heard this said a lot. The first thing to know is that all singers have a vocal range. And this vocal range is from the very lowest note they can sing to the very highest. And this varies between singers. But the typical vocal range is around 1.5 to 2 octaves. But some singers are lucky enough to have a bigger vocal range than this. For example, Freddie Mercury could sing just over 3 octaves. Mariah Carey has a 5-octave vocal range, and Axl Rose has a whopping 6-octave vocal range. There are 6 main vocal ranges, and we call these soprano, mezzo-soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, and bass. So each singer has a vocal range, that group of notes that's comfortable for them to sing. And talking generally, the middle of this range is normally the most easy and the most comfortable for a singer to sing at. But how does this tie in with the key of a song? Well, as I mentioned before, melodies in a song tend to be based around the root note of the key. And so if this root note or key note or tonic or whatever you want to call it is around the middle of a singer's vocal range, the melody probably isn't going to deviate too high or too low from this root note. And therefore, it's probably going to be quite comfortable for the singer to sing. And so that's why you sometimes hear singers say, oh, my preferred key is E, or I sing in the key of E. That's because most of the time, the melodies of the songs in E suit their vocal range. And now this isn't always the case. That's really more of a general rule of thumb. And so if your singer is really struggling to hit the low notes in a song, maybe think about moving the key up for them. The easiest way to kind of convey what I'm saying is saying that asking your singer to sing in the key that you've learnt the song in, even though it's too low and uncomfortable for them to sing, is like asking a guitar player to add an extra string to their guitar so that it can hit the low notes you want. It's pretty much an impossible ask. So that's why the key of a song is really important and why it's really essential that you get it right when you're performing live or when you're in the studio. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and interesting. Let me know what you thought in the comments below and if there are any other videos you'd like to see in the future. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and I will see you again soon.